This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Cindy Johnson, and she's here today from Huron Humane Society. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here, and I understand that you have an abundance of cats at the shelter right now.
We do. We have so many cats. At this point, we can't take any more cats. So we are asking people, if you're in the market for a cat, looking for a cat, house cat, barn cat, please come to the shelter and look at what we have. We have cats of all ages, sizes, colors, male, female, kittens, you name it, we have them.
And last time I was there, I stood by the door and looked, and the cat put its hand under the door, and he kept grabbing my foot, and I say, no, I don't want a cat, go away.
They want you to have a cat. But today I'd like to talk about two cats,
okay,
just to give you an example of what we have. We have Marvin. He is a Maine Coon cat mix. He's about 3 years old. He has been neutered. He is available for adoption. And the female I'm going to talk about is Sweet Pea. She's a small cat. She's a black and white short-haired cat. She's about 3 as well, but she isn't spayed.
Okay.
If you adopt a cat or a dog from the Huron Humane Society, you make a $50 deposit. As soon as you have them spayed or neutered, you get that back. So the local vets offer that free to any animal that's adopted from the shelter.
That's amazing. And you know, Cindy, just to spend a moment, you know, if you're a pet owner, you know, it's your responsibility to make sure that they're sheltered, and make sure that they're fed, and make sure that they get to the vets, and make sure that they have license and shots. And above all, spaying and neutering. We wouldn't have that situation at the shelter. How sad to go see all those cats that want a forever home.
Yes, we couldn't agree more. When it gets to the point where we can't take any more cats, then the public gets upset because they have no place to take the cats. But if we can't physically house any more cats, we simply can't. And it's not the fault of the shelter.
No.
It's the fault of somebody who didn't take the time to spay or neuter their pet. So it's so important that people do that. My hope this year, and I've been researching a few grants, my hope this year is that we can find some grants to offer maybe low spay and neuter to people who can't afford it to help with that process. But as a community, we really need to find a solution to this problem, and it starts with everybody doing their part.
And you know, when you have a batch of kittens, don't open the door and send them out. I mean, that's your responsibility. Take care of them, get them spayed and neutered, give them away, find them good homes.
Yes, we need to do that. We definitely need to do that.
Okay, so, next,
first of all, I'd like to tell you that Retails is celebrating their 1-year anniversary.
Yes.
So they are open today through Saturday, and if you go into Retails, you can put your name in for a drawing for a wonderful gift basket that they're giving away. And all the money that Retails makes goes to help support the Huron Humane Society. So if you have anything that you would like to donate, they would take that. And some of the things they upcycle, some of the things are nice enough that they can just put them out. But all of that benefits the Huron Humane Society. So
I went somewhere last week and I saw 2 cabinets that said, oh, those are so wonderful. You know, retails. So I know that the upcycling is very, very popular, and people have a list. They just kind of keep watching every day.
Yes, and we appreciate it. So if you have furniture out there, please keep us in mind.
Okay.
Another thing that we're doing, and this is new for us this year, we're having a downtown apartment tour. And we're calling it Home for the Howl Days. And this is going to be, I have to look at, this is November 25th from 4 to 8. Right now we're still in the process of kind of pulling it all together. Tickets should go on sale the first week in November. We have 4 apartments. If people aren't aware that we have apartments downtown, they would be surprised what's available downtown. We have some wonderful apartments. Some of them are small but cute. I was in one yesterday that's absolutely stunning. So we have businesses that are going to help us decorate those apartments. Marketplace is one of them. They are decorating one of the apartments, and they are actually doing a tree for us.
Ooh.
So that people can buy the entire tree. They will deliver it, set it up, and parts of the proceeds from that tree will go directly to the Huron Humane Society. Doug Pratt from Prattscape will be decorating an apartment. As You Wish will be decorating an apartment. Jack Davison is decorating his own apartment. And Bella Rose Studio, she is decorating her own apartment, or she's hiring somebody to decorate it. So the apartments will be stunning.
Yay.
We hope to have food and beverages in some of the apartments, not a whole lot, just little bites that people can have, because we want them to utilize all of the services that downtown offers. And the businesses will probably be offering specials. And
what is that date, Cindy?
This is the 25th, November 25th. So this is Small Business Saturday.
Okay.
It's that day as well. So we're just trying to make the downtown a destination point on that day.
Okay, we have about 3 minutes left.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, Giving Tuesday.
Yes.
This is the second year that we are doing Giving Tuesday, and we raised enough money last year that we were automatically eligible for Giving Tuesday again this year. And it's one of the reasons. Did I talk about the Facebook page yet?
No.
Okay. This is one of the reasons. On our Facebook page, we're going to start a group tab. So there's a group tab on our Facebook page that you can click on, and that's where we're going to start transitioning all lost animals to. We still want to offer that to the public because it's a great service. But what we're trying to do is clean up our Facebook page for Giving Tuesday, because it's a social media event, and so we need to utilize our page for that to try to raise as much money on that day that we can. And we also want to take our page back so that we can start putting up the cats and the dogs and that we have in the shelter and showcasing them. So if you can click on that tab, go to the group tab, click on it, you will find our new Lost and Found page.
Okay.
And if you can like that and share that so that we can get the word out, that is where we're transitioning all the lost pets to. So it's still going to be there, it's just going to be under that tab.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, and Giving Tuesday, just keep looking at your website, because we'll be able to find out all the information there, and the information too for November 25th. And that sounds an exciting fundraiser.
It's going to be fun. And we hope to have live music downtown, carolers, those sorts of things, maybe some in the apartment, some outside of the apartment. So it's going to be a wonderful event. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here, and please give our best to the board and to all the volunteers that take such wonderful care of the animals in our community.
Thank you, and thank you for what you do for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be right back with Chuck Sherwin from Mid-Michigan Medical Center following these messages. Hi, welcome back. My last guest today is Chuck Sherwin from Mid-Michigan Medical Center. He is Vice President and Chief Nursing Officer. Yes. Welcome, Chuck.
Thanks so much for having me, Nancy.
Thanks for being here. And I know that you did a wonderful open house earlier this week at the Cancer Center. How did that go?
Oh, it went very well. It was last night, actually, and had lots of people come out, past patients and other people in the community that have donated money to the Cancer Center. And so it was a terrific outing. Had people from the University of Michigan come, people from Mid-Michigan Health as well, and some of the representatives from the hospital. So what we've been able to do is really, it's a larger project than just in the Cancer Center. We moved our pain clinic downstairs onto the first floor right by the front entrance. And so those patients no longer have to navigate through the hospital.
And that was quite a navigation.
Yes, it was. And these are people that are in pain and suffering, and so we wanted to make sure that that was closer to the front doors. But the big pieces that we did is we changed the infusion center, updated medical oncology, gave it a new look and a feel. But the big pieces were our equipment that we have. The linear accelerator, which is the tool that we use to treat cancer with radiation. And so that's kind of that temporary building that you see outside right now. We're not using that anymore. That'll go away in the next 40 days or so. But really, we've been able to provide state-of-the-art equipment. And like we said when we first opened up the Cancer Center 16 years ago now, that the treatment that you have in Alpena would be exactly the same that you could have at the University of Michigan. And that has held true for all these years. And so the new equipment really helps us to pinpoint the cancer tumors more accurately. Usually the doses that people receive, the radiation doses, are less, and the numbers of treatments that they have are less. And so a great addition to our community, and to be able to treat patients that have a cancer diagnosis here locally.
And we're so blessed to have that wonderful cancer center in our community. When you have to travel out of town for treatment, mentally, emotionally, physically exhausting for a family, and to be able to have the wonderful staff that we have from everywhere, from the person who's going to help you with your insurance, through the infusion nurse, to everyone that's anyone involved in the care is just outstanding.
Yeah, and ours is set up very different than many other cancer centers where medical oncology is separated from radiation oncology. And as I was talking to Dr. Lacerna last night, our radiation oncologist, he said it's just a great partnership between the two. Our medical oncologist and Dr. Lacerna talk to each other routinely throughout the day about how we're going to care the best for our patients. And so that really makes our facility stand out a little bit differently than most. And if you were to ask the providers and the staff, it just works out better for our patients.
Okay, and you're having a brand new computer system come in, and I just imagine changing my own computer system at home, let alone changing yours.
Yeah, you know, since we've joined Mid-Michigan Health back last April, it's been pretty much nonstop activities of how we provide better care and to our patients. And so this is another example of that. We've implemented a medical record called Epic. It's an international company, and it's an electronic health record. And so we used Meditech previously for about 10 years. And when we became part of Mid-Michigan Health, one of the neat things when we joined them, they said, we want you to go on Epic. Others that we talked to said, well, keep what you have if you want to. But what Epic allows us to do is it interacts with any Mid-Michigan Health hospital, the University of Michigan as well. Epic has been around since 1979, so it's not a brand new company, but it's the largest medical record company for hospitals in the nation. And so any physician that is affiliated with Mid-Michigan Health has the complete record of that patient. So you know that you've gone to doctors and have to fill out the questionnaire, and then you go to the next doctor and fill out the questionnaire. And that process, as long as it's an affiliated physician in Mid-Michigan Health, that goes away. We also will have online scheduling in the future, and we have a new updated patient portal. I've been on it this morning and last night looking at some of my data, and that's working out really well. We've had over 200 people from Epic, the corporation, and Mid-Michigan Health helping us with the install and the upgrade that's happened over the last 3 weeks. So we're 3 weeks into it, and it's really going really well. You know, there's always some bumps in the road, but we've had no lapse in care for our patients. We've had no issues with the safety of our patients. It's actually gone so well.
And you know, just the thought of filling out all those forms, sometimes it's like, oh, not again. And you know, when you're feeling healthy and you've got all your faculties and everything's good and you can be your own advocate, those are pretty easy. But if you're not, those forms are pretty tough to fill out, so that's a wonderful feature. Yeah,
and you know, if you have to go down to Mid-Michigan Health or the University of Michigan, and then you come back, our providers here can see everything that's happened down there. And so, you know, a good example is if I go into the emergency department today and they want me to follow up with my physician tomorrow, that doctor will see all the things that we've done in the emergency department.
Perfect.
And in the past, that has not happened. So we think that the care will be improved. There'll be less duplications of providers asking you to get certain labs drawn that maybe you had done last week. And we really feel that it's safer care for our patients and our providers.
Okay, and now I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question, but do we have any new services that will be coming in? Are we working on some new things?
We are. It's you know, it's all dependent on having physicians available. But we've started a vascular clinic in Alpena, and we're working through some of the details on that. We have an infectious disease physician that comes and supports us. Some of it is done via telemedicine. Some of it is here locally. But we're really looking at some of the other services that patients in our community has asked for in the past. You know, things like rheumatology and gastroenterology, those types of things that we see a lot of patients having to travel for, and we really think that they shouldn't. And so Mid-Michigan Health is really working hard with us to try to figure out what can we do. Those things just don't happen overnight, but clearly it's on our radar to have more services here in Alpena. One of the missions of the affiliation with Mid-Michigan Health was to make sure that we expand services in Alpena, that we don't contract them. And so far we haven't really seen any contraction, and we're now looking for that expansion. And Dr. Bates is really helping us with that, and the folks at Mid-Michigan Health.
And I know being on the Development Council and a few other boards through Mid-Michigan, I'm really impressed. You know, I took the attitude like, okay, I'm from the show me state, show me. And I've been impressed after, you know, going to the meetings and listening to everything. I do see improvements. I see things getting better. I see things, you know, things that we want to stay the same. I see them staying the same. And I'm really thrilled, and I tell the story out in the community that yes, it is a good affiliation, and please know that if you donate any money, because it's that time of year again, that your money stays in our community. It stays right here and does all those wonderful things that you've been talking about.
Yeah, you know, Mid-Michigan Health, I think 10 years ago, they weren't really on our radar at all, but clearly they're a top 15 health system. The Midland Hospital is a top 100 hospital. The cardiovascular services in Midland have just been recognized as a top 50 cardiovascular center in the United States. And Alpena has been recognized as a top 20 rural health hospital. And so, you know, that's the hard work and dedication that Mid-Michigan Health brings to us.
Yes.
And I think we're very fortunate. They're a great partner. They're a great team to work with, and really have a passion to make sure that we provide excellent care to our patients.
Thank you so much. We're out of time, and I look forward to seeing you around soon.
Thank you, Nancy.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster. I'm president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Nick Breggy, facilities director at ACC. Nick, you cover a wide range of things that go on at ACC, but recently you've been really involved in a capital campaign and the selection of an architect for the college. Let the viewers know a little bit about that, if you would.
Sure. This is part of a capital outlay project to renovate the oldest building on campus, which is Van Leer Hall, originally constructed in 1957. And this project, I'll be the project manager, kind of the voice of the college to the professional services firms that we line up to help us with the renovation. The first step in the project is to secure that architectural and engineering firm, which I started that process back in August. The first step that I took was to kind of request an open invitation for qualification statements. I got about 13 responses from firms all over the country, really, but primarily in Michigan. There were 13 firms that were all very well qualified, but they were measured on basically 4 main points pertaining to this project. The first one was the masonry restoration, which kind of brings an overall aesthetic upgrade to Van Leer Hall.
Which needs it.
Right. That's all the original 1957 concrete block, and so upgrading that, giving it a fresh look. The second element was the HVAC system, the mechanical heating, cooling, and ventilation. Again, mostly original to the 1957 construction. Has been upgraded a little bit through the years, but needs to be upgraded badly.
True.
The third element, which was part of the repurpose of Van Leer Hall, was moving the nursing component from the NRC over to the east wing of Van Leer Hall. And so having a firm that understood the healthcare language, you know, that can understand that side of the business, who has some experience in setting up those facilities. And then the fourth was their experience in technology integration, both from the learning technology end as well as some of the simulation technology that we hope to incorporate in the new nursing facility. So I was looking for a firm that had some experience on setting up those spaces and a successful track record in those areas. So.
You did a great job, going from 13 to 4.
Yeah, so I narrowed it down to 4 firms, and then from those 4 firms we conducted interviews with each of them. Felt very comfortable with all 4 firms, very well qualified. And then the last part of it was that we requested technical and cost proposals from those firms. Looking at just the technical proposals, there was no real clear-cut deciding factor. It was a pretty even match.
They were all good.
And narrowing it down from simply looking at their services and their experience and their qualifications, they all ranked very evenly. But what differentiated one firm in particular was their costs, both their base fees and their reimbursable costs. It was a firm out of Traverse City called Cornerstone Architects. So their reimbursable costs for travel was less because of their proximity, and once they differentiated themselves, I began to do a little bit more research into some of their projects and some of the clients that they've worked with, and the more people I've talked to, the more comfortable I felt with them, and their focus on client satisfaction and their track record of providing quality results. So,
very thorough, methodical, fast, quality work on your part, and we appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
What does an architect do?
Well, in this particular case, the DTMB department of the state kind of regulates the process for the capital outlay. So they're going to be in charge of developing some schematic designs for us up front and a program statement. So they're going to meet with various groups, user groups on the college, start to form the visions and ideas that we have, and create a physical image so that we can actually begin to see what this is going to look like at the end. And that's the first step. Beyond that, they're going to work on a complete blueprint design that's a workable document, a document that can be used to bid the construction services from.
Outstanding. So, pretty clear explanation. The a representation of the physical space you referenced, that would be like drawings and renderings.
Exactly.
Very, very helpful when the fundraising part kicks in, which it has really already. But we think that what we need to raise as a college is $3.35 million, and that will liberate, you might say, the match from the state, which comes in the back half. So if the total project would be $6.7 million, and I think it may run that.
Yeah, considering all the elements and what we see as the advancements in the healthcare profession training element of it, there's quite a bit of technology there that has advanced and provides some real value to the potential future healthcare providers. Those simulation mannequins, they're not cheap, but they are very effective from what I've seen as a training tool.
You and I have visited a couple of sites, one down in Midland with Mid-Michigan at their corporate headquarters in the Gerstacker building, and also over at Delta. Delta's did this about 3 or 4 years ago. Very helpful to see it.
Yeah, very successful project, and had elements from both of those locations that we took away, and I think we can apply here as best practices in Alpena.
Very good. Nick, thank you very much for your help. Folks, thank you for supporting the college. We'll be reaching out when our public part of our fundraising campaign kicks in. And thanks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.
The Talk of the Town furniture and set design are provided by Young Appliance Art Van Furniture on US 23 South in Alpena.